Okay, I'm going to be doing a video on something that I call bumps, or contact stalls. If there's another name for these, let me know, but that's what I've started calling them. I don't think I've ever actually heard them named or seen a video on them. But they can be a lot of fun, and they can be really tricky to the eye, or really interesting when you're watching, especially when you're doing them with fire. I do want to advise anyone who does try these with fire, the heavier your POI heads are, the harder they're going to be. You can bruise your hands, and you can also burn your hands with these because you are contacting your POI head. And it's an optical illusion almost, because you aren't really putting that much pressure on the head when you do them right. But they look really neat, and it looks like you're hitting them around to change directions. There's a bunch of different ways that you can do them. And you can do them to shift planes and all of this fun stuff. But yeah, the heavier your POI heads are, the harder these are going to be. The harder it's going to be to bump your heads back around the other way. And you want to be careful for any loose metal at the end of your chain, because that metal can burn you if you don't have these perfect. So basically practice them a lot with POI unlit, or with your practice POI. Wear gloves if you have gloves. Gloves are a great thing. And have fun. To get into these, I usually, or the way that I think about them, it's like I'm doing a double stall, up and down. I know that those look a little bit not so clean at the moment. But if you think about a double stall, you're switching directions on every stall. Or you can. You don't have to. But most people do. You want to try to get your stalls to where your hand, one hand is at the other POI head. I know a lot of people do them here, and that's fine. And it's also nice to make them meet. But for bumps, you want to get them right where one hand's at the other POI head. So I guess that's the first thing that you need to know to do bumps. And what you want to do is allow your POI to stall, and right at the moment before they're done stalling, before they've completely finished moving, move each hand into the opposite POI head. And you can do them, say you're doing a weave, stall on the side, bump, bump. I'm kind of missing them there, but you almost want to, when you're practicing, try to stall and just stall into your other hand. So you're just kind of letting them swing to there, then try to push it out in the opposite direction. So stall into your hand, push it out. You can do them horizontally, or vertically. Got a few vertical ones for you. The primary thing that makes these so much easier is when you're coming into them, stall. do just like you're going to do a double stall. And when you're doing them up and down, I'm not sure if I displayed this correctly, I usually like to cross my arms. I don't think that I was doing that earlier. But stall with my right poi on my left side, left poi on my right side. And that will allow you to bump them into the opposite direction much easier. One thing that you really want to avoid is hitting the chain above the head. Not just because it will burn you, but also because it will wrap your wrist and continue to burn you. Like these. Obviously with these heads they're pretty springy, so I pop right out of them. But any fire poi heads, you might not be that fortunate, and the damage might already be done by the time you get out of them. So just be careful. The other way, or the other thing that I think looks really nice with these is any isolated move, like an isolated weave. Isolations make for real easy bumps. Because your hands are already even with the poi heads. So you can really kind of slow it down and let them rest into your hands and then push them back. These are another trick that's real good to do as your fire's kind of going out if you aren't wearing gloves. And you can also do them from like an isolated buzzsaw. You can, here. This one's a little bit trickier, but you'll probably get it quicker than I do. There we go. Still hit myself, but you get the idea. I can't do it reverse from a buzzsaw, but forward from a buzzsaw one more time. Isolated buzzsaw. There we go. And that's just kind of a